and your Bloomberg and all those TV channels.
अच्छा.
Yeah.
अरविंद, ललित बजाज जी भी आ रहेंगे तो उनको एडमिट करना. हाँ,
ओके ओके.
गुड मॉर्निंग विजय जी.
मंत्री जी ने ज्वाइन किया.
माहेश्वरी जी नमस्कार.
नमस्कार. सीमा मैडम भी आपको गुड मॉर्निंग बोली थी.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
हमारी कन्वेनर है जेबी नगर की, वेरी एक्टिव. नाउ वी हैव रियल वुमेन पावर इन जेबी नगर स्टडी सर्कल.
होना चाहिए.
होना चाहिए.
पहले से है. वेट करिए.
No, it is effective now. Effective, not namesake of Modi ji. It is effective.
अभी एक्टिव हो गए हैं.
Yes. No, you have a good team now. Very good team. I think 30-40 are very active.
अच्छा, that's very nice.
Yeah,
That's
very
very
nice.
That's very nice.
एडमिट कर लो मैडम, टाइम हो
नहीं
गया.
नहीं, एक मिनट. हाँ,
नहीं.
विजय जी, हम लोग ना पहले नो योर इथिक्स का वीडियो रन करेंगे.
ठीक है.
अभी हमारे WRC के चेयरपर्सन है ना, CA ललित बजाज जी, तो वो उनके व्यूज ही वांट टू शेयर बिकॉज दिस प्रोग्राम इज जॉइंटली विद WIRC.
ठीक बात.
So after introduction, we will hand over to you.
ठीक है. No problem. Absolutely.
Thank you.
बजाज जी भी
Okay,
आ गए.
अरविंद एडमिट करना. हाँ,
Good morning बजाज जी.
अच्छा आ गए हैं वो.
Yeah.
ओके, एडमिट करता हूँ मैडम.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
Good morning.
ललित जी कैसे हैं आप? Nice to see you after long time, huh?
So this time even WRC team is very young and dynamic.
Yes.
Yes.
थोड़ा सा रिस्ट्रिक्शन आ गया कोविड की वजह से, बाकी कुछ नहीं.
नहीं, but फिर भी काफी प्रोग्राम्स तो इवेंट्स तो all going very well. Very well.
डायनामिक है.
Yeah, no, events are going very well.
Yes. ये हमारा मिशन स्टेटमेंट है ललित जी.
Knowledge, ethics and technology. Yes. Key. Very good.
Okay, no admit. Okay. Good morning. I, on behalf of JB Nagar CP Study Circle, welcome you all for the today's webinar. First of all, we will run the video on Know Your Ethics. Okay, thank you. Today we have with us young, dynamic chairperson of WIRC, CA Lalit Bajaj. Thank you, Lalit for attending today's webinar and also gracing the occasion. I now request CA Lalit Bajaj to share his thought and the activities at WIRC level. Thank you.
Thanks, Kamala Madam. Sumaji, expert on the subject who is going to deliberate in today's session, Vijai Mantri ji, my elder brother Dual Meshwari ji, and all the seniors, dignitaries, members on behalf of WIRC and JB Nagar Study Circle. I welcome all of you. At the same time, I thank you for giving me this opportunity for interacting with you. As far as JB Nagar Study Circle is concerned, as I have already spoken about it and reiterated a number of times, that as and when WIRC feels any help or coordination requirement as far as any activity of WIRC is concerned, we are by JB Nagar Study Circle and at each and every point of time. And the thing with the JB Nagar Study Circle is working aspire with knowledge, ethics, and technology. I think so by engaging the study circle in all the activities which we are running across, we are really proving ourselves for all the facets of this particular theme which we have decided. As far as today's subject is concerned, as we all are aware that in recent past, say a year's time or say 6-7 months time, there has been a sharp surge in the opening of demat accounts by retail investors. I think so that itself brings to the notice that lot many retail investors have entered the share equity market and at the same time have invested in the equity market. So we as chartered accountants, I think so we have a huge responsibility to understand the various compliances and complications as to how it is to be presented or how it is to be taxed to give the maximum tax benefit to the assessee and at the same time to get the maximum returns from his investments. So I think so today's session will really help us in deciding on these various facets because Vijay ji is regularly consulting and helping in various investments, whether it is in direct or indirect market or say security. I think it will really enlighten all of us. One more thing which I have seen in recent past is the younger chartered accountants who are coming into profession. One of the area which they are really looking for to enter into as their career is analysts. They are really interested to be an analyst. I think so somewhere or the other, when the companies or say broking houses or say financial institutions are thinking about analysis job, chartered accountants are not given that priority which is required or which is expected. I think so the simple question which is put to all our chartered accountant fraternity is whether are you available to give the deliverables expected by the institutions. So it is a huge responsibility on all of us, whether it is study circle, branch or regional council, that we have to really develop a skill set to some extent whereby our younger chartered accountant can really opt for an analyst job and at the same time institution can very well welcome him, accepting that he will be able to give the deliverables. So this was the basic reason because of which we are promoting this year investor awareness programs on various program organizing units with WIRC. As far as WIRC is concerned, this year WIRC is working on 4 basic pillars and we have named it as PAIR, P-A-I-R, P stands for publication, A stands for activities, I stands for initiatives, and R stands for representations. And let me tell you, WRC is giving equal notice on all the parts and ensuring that we can do our best whatever is possible on all the areas for the benefit of members and students. Two things which I wanted to share with you as far as the recent activity of WRC is concerned. JP Nagar Study Circle has always ensured that the reference of WRC reaches to the member in the best possible way. And I believe that the convener and deputy convener with their core team are ensuring this. I would like to just appeal that whoever is looking for the reference to be referred for next year, please speak to your convener, deputy convener, and ensure that it is there at your doorstep. Second, we have our members conference on 24th, 26th, and 27th December. So I would request the team, JP Nagar Study Circle, and the members, those who are interested, to participate in the conference. This is one of the signature conference of WIRC, and that will really add value in the whole gamut or say knowledge process of our chartered accountants. With this, I once again welcome all of you and thank you for giving me this opportunity, and I'm looking forward for a thrilling session in this next 2-3 couple of hours. Thank you. Thank you.
I now request our past convener and core group member CA BL Maheshwari ji to present vote of thanks to Chairperson CA Bajaj ji.
Good morning, friends, and our special thanks to WRC Chairman Lalitji Bajaj, who has been kind enough to be available for today's session with us, and obviously our thanks to today's learned faculty, Vijai Mantri ji, who has agreed to address us even on a short notice. I know that each one of us is experiencing a very special situation due to COVID. And COVID has made us think of some passive income for each one of us. Though it was there in our DNA, all of us are looking for wealth creation. And it's an interesting kind of thoughts given by WRC and JB Nagar convener and deputy convener to have a session on wealth management. Typically, each one of we have a DNA to create the wealth. But how many of we have created the wealth? We all know. Why it is so? Because possibly we have a lack of time, we are not focused, and more complications are there, more and more options are there. So we need to have a professional approach to it. We need to have a kind of full-time approach to it so that our wealth management things takes care of it. And we need to engage the experts if need be for that sake. And today we have a very learned faculty with us. Our own chartered accountant, fraternity member, CA Vijai ji Mantri. He is a rank holder chartered accountant. He is a AMP from ISB Hyderabad, which is one of the prestigious MBA institute. He has started his career after completing his chartered accountant's course with one of the largest business house, Aditya Birla Group. He has worked there for 7 years and put a lot of innovative things in the market, right from IPO funding, which was one of the very early stage thoughts, which was created by Vijay Mantri ji. After that, he has moved to SDFC Mutual Fund. Right from its inception, he was in a core team, and almost about 7 to 8 years, he has worked with India's largest mutual fund, SDFC Mutual Fund. Further to that, he has moved his journey to Deutsche Mutual Fund, and he has turned around that mutual fund from a loss-making to a profit-making mutual fund. After that, he has joined, rather he has not only joined, but he has started right from inception, the Pramerica Mutual Fund, where he was CEO and Managing Director of the mutual fund. Pramerica is one of the largest mutual fund at global level, being a parental of Prudential Inc. USA, which is Fortune 500 company and top 10 in the world. Continuing his journey for the more and more He decided to be on his own, and recently he started his own consultancy and portfolio management company, JRLMoney, where he is advising his all clients professionally how to create the wealth and how to maximize the wealth. He has got enough number of options. Even I do take his professional services for my portfolio. I am sure today each one of us will be benefited with his expert's advice. We'll have enough time to interact with him. So please feel free to raise your queries. You can send it in chat box, and we'll request Vijay to deal with each one of it. My once again sincere thanks to Chairman Bajaj, our faculty, and our convener and deputy convener to giving me this opportunity to moderate the today's session. Thank you very much to all. Vijay, floor is open to you.
Thank you very much, Maheshwari for kind words. Thank you, Lalit for gracing the occasion in the beginning and giving opening remarks. And thank you, Seema for coordinating and inviting me and taking all the trouble of organizing this event. I appreciate, and all the viewers, all the fellow chartered accountants who have joined on Sunday morning. I know it is also a wedding season right now. So thank you very much to all of you for tuning into this session. I would attempt to address few concerns, open some ideas, throw some questions for all of us to think. My job is not to give definite answer, which is I don't believe in. My job is to pause and throw questions at you so you can, in your spare time, think about it. How does one create wealth? How does one manage the wealth? As one go higher and higher in life, for instance, if you anybody play cricket, then the higher somebody played international level, then the advice is given that you need to cut down on risky shots. Investing is not T20, it is not a ODI. Investing is a test match. A player who does very well in test match is a player who avoid, not looking at hitting the ball which is going outside the off stump. So the whole effort is to basically stay longer on the crease. The longer you stay in the crease, you have ability that you'll able to create run for the team. Similarly, the first focus of investing has to be safety of the capital. If the answer to any investment option is the question mark on the safety of the capital, then the second question should not be asked. So first box need to be ticked is the safety of the capital. After safety of the capital box is answered, then the second question need to be answered, the liquidity. How liquid is the investment option where I'm investing? And why liquidity is important? Because investment is a postponement of current consumption. Who can be qualified as an investor? A person who has money, he has two options: to spend the money or keep the money for a future day. And future day may arise anytime. The future need may arise anytime. At that time, does your portfolio or wherever you're investing is liquid enough to take care of your needs? If the portfolio is not liquid enough, unfortunately, you end up selling part of the portfolio which is liquid, and perhaps you may be selling the wrong asset category. The second box need to be ticked is liquidity. And only after the safety of capital and the liquidity box are ticked, then one need to look at return part. But unfortunately, this is not the way investment is approached. We get lured by looking at return. A typical illustration is that when you look at fixed deposit, people don't look at time periods and they look at where is the highest return coming in. And when you start looking at that number, then you figure out that यार ये 5.5% मिल रहा है PSU में, तो private में 6 मिलेगा, तो corporate FD में 7 मिलेगा. Then we go down on that path where we start chasing the return in any asset category, and then we end up compromising on two fundamental factors, which is the safety of the capital and liquidity of the capital. Return come later, but we get lured so much, and it is just not about the investment. It is also about the way we live our life. So I'll give a very simple illustration to all of you. If you look at the essential function of food, the essential function of food is to provide nutrition to body and give energy. These are two essential functions of the food. But the food habits are driven today not by the basic purpose of food. The food habits today are driven by taste buds. So it's like investing is driven by return only, not by other criteria. So what happened when you look at taste buds, what drive your food habits? It is your tongue which will drive your food habits. And anything you eat, for illustration, let's take gulab jamun. Suppose you eat gulab jamun remain in your tongue for 2-3 minutes maximum. And then the taste buds are satisfied. But when the gulab jamun go inside your body, the internal part organ of the body need to process for next 4-5 hours. The tongue doesn't need to do that. The tongue has just eaten and enjoyed it. But your internal organ need to work very hard to digest it. So for one gulab jamun, your taste buds had been satisfied for 2-3 minutes, but your body need to work out for half an hour to 1 hour to burn the calories. It is as simple as that. Is plain mathematics, and we CA supposed to be very good at mathematics, but this is the way our food habits has been designed, or perhaps we have created, has not been designed. We have created these food habits, and that has thrown a lot of challenges to us, even the COVID time. COVID vaccine may or may not come, may or may not be effective, but what is the guarantee that tomorrow we will not have a virus like COVID emerging from any other part of the world? And today we are living in the global world. So at that time, what is the best course of action against these kind of viruses is to go back to nature, go back to what our grandfather and grandmothers were eating and cooking, eat those kind of food, build immunity, sit the way they used to sit, sleep the way they used to sleep, have a right sleeping pattern, those sort of things. So when it comes to health, we need to go back to what our grandparents were doing. But when it comes to investing, we need to think a little differently. And I'll try to tell you how we can think differently and how, in a risk-free manner, wealth can be created. And actually, in the risk-free manner, wealth can be created. So let's put this thing very simple. Investing is future-looking. Anything where you want to make big money, whether it is a real estate, equity, bitcoins, or you look at gold, except FD, because FD rate of return barely beat inflation. I just tweeted just few days back, when I look at CI cost inflation index of last 20 years, the fixed deposit actually in 20 years time has eroded your capital. It is not protected capital, but we'll talk about that a little later. But beyond that, if you want to create really wealth, it is a future looking. Investment is a future looking endeavor. And future is always going to be uncertain. So there are two things we need to keep in mind. That investing is future looking and future is going to be absolutely uncertain. In this kind of climate or situation, how does one create one's portfolio? So we'll discuss about that a little later. And I also talk to you about what are significant changes happen in the world in last so many years. So it is very important to know what role technology, what role new innovation has played, and how this has taken some country much, much ahead in the world. So if you remember, till 15th century, till before the Britishers arrived, India was the leading producer of world GDP for very simple reason, because at that time, the biggest lever to production is human endeavor. So any country with the largest population will end up being the biggest producer of world GDP. India was the most populous nation at that time. So till 15th century, India was producing 25% of the world GDP. If you look at the world GDP growth from 1200 century to 1700 century, 1800 century, the world GDP grew 0.1% only, or around 1% only. Then we have a revolution happening in Europe. And because of revolution happening in Europe, they developed the naval power. And because of the naval power, they could travel to any part of the world. And what most European countries did at that time, be it Belgium, be it Poland, be it Portugal, be it UK, be it France, they went across the globe and colonized the whole world. So Spain went to South America, Spain went to USA, and many world power has come to various parts of the world, and they have conquered a country like Africa, a continent like Africa, continent like South America, North America, a country like India, and various parts of the world has been colonized. And they did for effectively 300 and 400 years period, because they had a far superior naval power available to them. And in the whole process, what the European world has done, they have plundered the wealth from all across the globe. So if you go and visit any museum in European city, you will find that maximum item in the museum are pieces or artifact stolen or taken forcefully from various parts of the world. So the famous joke in Britain is that what does look like, what doesn't look like British in a Britain. So what doesn't look like British in a Britain is a British museum, because there's nothing inside in British museum is actually British. It is everything is taken from away from the other part of the world. So that was the situation when America broke off, and then various other part of the country world has broken off from this colonial power, and various countries become independent. And by 1915 and 60, almost the entire world was away from the colonial power. And then the real democracy happened. And because of that, and at the same time, Americans have a huge baby boom. And then we have seen post-World War unprecedented GDP growth, which has not happened anywhere in the modern history. And why it has happened? Because the world has become very open. The world has become independent. Every country can pursue their own interests. So earlier, what used to happen, what Indian will produce, it was decided by what does suit the British interest. When the India got independent, India decided its own course. Though we don't like 3 to 4% GDP growth, which happened from 1947 till 1990 or 1980. But before that, from 1900 to 1950, India's GDP expanded 0.01% only. But after that, GDP expanded 3-4%, and then we have a 6% plus GDP growth number. So what has happened that in US or various parts of the Western world, including Japan, these countries has become developed country. And by 1980s, what has happened is that these countries' per capita income has increased substantially because there was so much improvement in technology. Printing press has come, steam engine has come, naval power has come, machinery has come. So people's and population has been significantly reduced after the Second World War and couple of diseases. So what has happened? The population was less, but the wealth has been increased substantially. So during that period, the per capita income of the various part of the world has increased substantially. Once the per capita income has increased substantially, then what it did is basically people started looking for better quality life. So what has happened in 1980s, the world started looking at place where low cost production, low cost jobs, low cost product can be outsourced outside this Western world, and polluting industry can be given to these part of the world. So first it was Mexico, it was Korea, it was Taiwan, those kind of country who started doing this sweatshop job for US and various part of the world. But then the world figured out that these are very small countries, they don't have a large population. So around 30-40 years back, China came into a place where you could transfer repetitive low-cost job and polluting industry. So China has not grown at its own, but the entire Western world and the developed world wanted a place where they can outsource low-cost, high-polluting industry, and China became the favorite spot for them. And China gave them what they wanted. China gave them a colonial kind of a structure where there's no democracy, a central rule will run and things will work. So it suited the Western world perfectly. So the Western world started outsourcing lots of repetitive and polluting work to China, and China started expanding. Their GDP has grown significantly. But after some time, China started going up on the technology, it started producing high-end product, and it started competing with the world. And the world got very uncomfortable. And then we have seen, particularly last 10 years, there's been a lot of conflict, trade wars happening between China and various parts of the world. The country who fought with China was not big enough, so nobody could see China with eye to eye. But after the US has come, Donald Trump has come, the situation has changed. And perhaps the COVID was the last straw on a camel's back, where the world started taking notice that what we have done is what we should not have done. So the regressed cost in a Western world today is one of the highest, where they're saying that we have created an environment where we can't even produce PPE kits. We can't produce sanitizer. We can't produce mask. We have transferred all these jobs to China. So now there has been recalibration of the whole manufacturing industry across the world. And India, willingly will partner in this. So next 5, 10, 20 years are going to be brilliant for India. We are already seeing these things happening in last 6, 7 months. Nobody expected the way GDP number will come up, and GDP number will come up very, very good in next 3 to 6 months. If you are a chartered accountant, look at your client's balance sheet and income and expenditure account. This Diwali was perhaps the best Diwali people had in 5 to 7 years period because of various reasons, because of supply chain disruption, because of whatever reason. But one trajectory is very clear. India will become leader at least in 3-4 sectors of the economy. My take is that India will become world leader in electronics. India will become world leader in auto industry. India will become world leader in IT, and India will become world leader in healthcare sector, because today world doesn't have enough healthcare staff. Suppose the similar kind of pandemic has to happen in future. So from that perspective, I give the historical background that next 5, 10, 20 years look very, 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 very bright for India and our motherland. And you will see the fruits of that coming up in better corporate result, better profitability of the corporate, and much better share prices over a period of time. You could see some temporary ups and downs, which are 10, 20%, which is par for the course. So this is my initial brief on what will happen. Now look at something very interesting happening in the world of investing as well currently. Earlier thought out and foolproof plan are no longer working. For instance, I'll give you a couple of illustrations to you. Earlier, people used to have the asset allocation model, certain percentage in debt, certain percentage in equity, and as you grow old, you start reducing equity exposure and adding debt. But what has happened in the world today, I was reading a couple of books on investing, and I was reading a book called The Millionaire Next Door, where somebody gave a formula. Now, the formula doesn't work because in that formula, the author has assumed 8 to 10% return on their debt product. Now, you can't get 8 to 10% return on debt product in developed market even over a 10-year period. The whole asset allocation formula has fallen down. So whereas there's a big challenge happening currently that perhaps first time in the world history, we are living where the interest rate in some part of the world is negative and some part of the world is at a very, very low level. So in that kind of background, how does one create portfolio? How does one look at the asset classes? This is one part of the equation. The second part of the equation is again very interesting. What we are seeing, the developed world consume the maximum products available in the world. They consume around 75% of the world production, but their population is actually declining. So in absolute term, world GDP is very difficult to expand. So what is happening in this kind of environment? Your old companies, old commodities company, old manufacturing companies perhaps will not do well. What will do well? Because when GDP's top line is not expanding so much, the organization which is eating each other's market share will be rewarded disproportionately by the investor. So what we see, and Netflix is rewarded much better than Blockbuster or single screen. What we see, Amazon is rewarded much more than Walmart. So those kind of things will happen going forward, where the companies which are able to disproportionately grow their market share, the investor will reward them with significant PE expansion. And we have seen that in American market in various parts of the world. The second strange phenomena is happening is that if you look at your and my consumption pattern, what you will find is that many items which we are consuming, there's no company available in the listed space. So suppose you look at your mobile phone, you end up spending close to 3 to 5 hours. Individuals spend 3 to 5 hours every day on mobile phone. Now, many of these companies, when they give the best return, they were not available in public domain. Many of it, at least not in India, and many of them were owned by private equity firm or venture capital firm. So earlier formula where a company when needed expansion, needed money, would come to public and public would participate in those companies. And then the company have a 10 to 20-year track record, and then you could look at investing in these companies. Today, it is not the case. Once somebody a brilliant idea, there are people willing to give large portion of money to that entity. And then that entity, after delivering 100x, come in the market, and then many general public participate in these kind of entities. So we are seeing a very, very interesting phenomena happening in the world today. One end, interest rates are historical low. Second level, we are seeing that in investing world, the old theory of margin of safety, buying at low P multiple, actually no longer working. If you look at the Amazon and Flipkart of the world, or Google and Microsoft of the world, though they were available once upon a time at 90 P multiple, but if you look at 20-year track record of these companies, 90% of their return has come from earning, not from P expansion. But somebody a vision that this is the way world will shape, and somebody's invested that kind of money at that time, so they become 100 bagger or 200 bagger. India, we have very few opportunities, and that is a region that whatever money is available is going into only few names. So we have a very strange situation in the market where some stocks are available at 100 P multiple, and there are enough justification to continue to own those stocks for whatever reason. So this is a very brief from my side on the business of investing. Now look at what has happened in India. Is very interesting phenomena we have seen. If you look at investing, then from year 2000 to 2004, 10-year GSEC return has come down from 12% to below 5%. So bond fund in India delivered double-digit return consistently from year 2000 to 2004. It was a fantastic period for almost 4-5 years. And from 2003, 2004 to 2008, we have seen 20% plus CAGR on equity side. And at that time, fund houses used to generate huge alpha because the asset was very low and there were a lot of information asymmetry available. Today, it is not the case. So what used to happen at that time? Fund houses deliver around 30% plus CAGR for a 5-year period. So anybody who could invest it in the bond at that time or equity at that time, without any doubt, made lots of money, lots of money. So we start believing in the buy and hold is the best way to invest. And here I'm going to give you something interesting idea to you guys. One is that buy and hold does work very well. But keep in mind, even in buy and hold, even in the best fund or even in index, there's been 1 year period where the return is down 56%. It means your 1 crore invested has become 44 lakh rupees. There have been 5-year period where there's been no return at all in many fund and even in index. So when you do a buy and hold, which is one of the best strategy, please keep in mind, even in buy and hold, there have been period where there's absolutely no return at all and there's a huge volatility. But over a longer period of time, suppose your investing horizon is 7 to 10 years, then definitely you make money in good fund, good PMS, and good indices. There's a one part. The second part we look at investing is view-based investing, that whenever we invest, we take a call on market, bazaar kaisa lag raha hai, acha lag raha hai, kharab lag raha hai. We listen to various experts and then we take a call what one need to do. And investing according to that is a lottery ticket. Sometime it works, sometime it doesn't work. So I'm not saying one should not invest on the basis of view-based investing, but one need to be very clear today's market that certain percentage of holding, maybe 10%, 20%, 30% will be invested through buy and hold. Certain percentage, which in my opinion should not exceed more than 10%, should be on view-based investing. Third option and fourth, five, I'm giving you 2-3 alternate options to you guys to look at investing. One more way to look at investing is that today in the fixed income side, the interest rate has become lower. How does one get higher return from the fixed income portfolio? So I'll give a solution to you guys. I call it a low risk or zero risk equity portfolio. Investor can invest their hard-earned money in a good quality debt mutual fund, and only the gain portion is taken out and invested in the same fund house's mutual fund equity scheme. If you do that, then what has happened that in the down market, your capital is protected because you invested in a debt fund and only interest has been taken out. So capital is protected. And in the rising market, since you are transferring the interest part in the rising market, that part of the money grows. So over a period of time, compared to traditional debt product, this structure gives you 3 to 4% more return. So in the current environment, suppose your bank FD net of tax will deliver you 3%. This strategy have an option of delivering you 5% plus tax-free return in your portfolio. So this is one part of the portfolio which can be created. Other thing I would tell you is that market will remain forever volatile, whether you look at now, whether you look at in April, March 2020 or before that. So there's always a dilemma in investors' mind. Question number one, what should I do with my existing equity portfolio? Question number two, should I invest more or should I take money out? Question number three, how does I handle volatility in the market? So here I give you some solution to these challenges and a very structured way solution, not like बाजार खराब लग रहा है 11,000 पे निकाल लो 12,000 पे निकाल लो जब मार्च अप्रैल में मार्केट 8,000 था तभी और मार्केट खराब होगा नीचे के दाम पे हम लोग आएंगे मार्केट never gave us opportunity to participate again. So given this kind of situation, what I recommend you to do is couple of strategies which I developed for the investor. One is that you look at, whenever you look at investing, you set a target in your mind. So you look at, say, I'm investing now, looking at the current market condition, my return target is set 12%. So you invested 1 crore rupees. After 1 year, the 1 crore, your target was 1 crore should have become 1 crore 12 lakh. But 1 crore has become 1 crore 20 lakh. So you made 8 lakh excess money. At that time, you take out this 8 lakh excess money. So you are not emptying your entire equity portfolio, but at the same time, the excess return you're taking out. And then you follow this on month basis. If the market is rising, you are taking money out. Market is rising more than what you expect them to rise. Then you take a small part regularly. And when the market fall, you pull back money which you've taken out from equity and put back into debt. You've taken money out from equity debt, put back that into equity. If you do this on regular basis, it significantly reduces the risk in your portfolio, and also this structure create opportunity to invest in the lower and lower level of the market. Now the question in people's mind is that I've invested 1 crore rupees. You are saying 1 crore has become 1 crore 20 lakh. What will happen? Suppose the 1 crore become 80 lakh after 1 year. So that is also a possibility. So in current market, what you should do, invest 60 lakh into equity and 40 lakh into debt. And then have this 12% return target on 60 lakh rupees after 1 year, or anytime it's been between, suppose the market fall, you start feeding money from debt to equity. And if the market rise more than your 12% return target, then you start taking money out from the equity component. So if you do that, then you handle volatility on your portfolio on much better way. The third way and fourth way of looking at investing is that you can create an all-weather portfolio, and there are very interesting correlation between gold, international investing, domestic investing, and debt, where you can look at a combination where no asset category goes more than 50% at the time of investing. And if you do that structure on a continuous basis, which I have created, then your portfolio will deliver consistently double-digit return over a 4 to 5 year period. And there's a very low possibility of you losing money over a 2 year period. So in a current environment, in current market, it is very difficult to stay out from the equity completely. It is also very challenging to stay invested and put more money into equities. So given in this kind of situation, one need to approach this market or any market with much more structure and much more control in your hand than traditionally buy and hold or view-based investing. So my request to all the investors is that if they are looking at investing, follow these structure. And if you follow those structure, then perhaps your return would be much better. You will not miss out big opportunities either way, whether markets are going up or markets are coming down. So it is very important that when you look at investing, you keep these 3 parameters in mind: safety of capital, liquidity, and return on the portfolio in that order of preference. If you do that, you will create large amount of wealth. Even something grows at 10% for 20 years, it will create significant wealth for the investor. So this is my opening remark about how to create wealth, and I'll be keen if we can take some Q&A from investor, and if you want me to cover some other area, I don't mind doing that. So over to you, Seemaji and Maheshwariji.
Madam, how do you wish to approach? Like in between, have a question answer session, and again some more topics you can cover. will be better.
We can cover first the topics and
Okay.
question and answer we will keep at the end. So
Okay.
people will ask questions in the chat box, and then we will share those questions with the Mantri ji.
Okay. So, sir, you can give some more thoughts on other areas of, I mean, your investing skills and all, and how the common
One
investment.
area which has not been explored significantly, which we need to be explored significantly, is international investing.
Yes.
Because in today's environment, when you look at what you're consuming, where you're spending your maximum amount of money and maximum time, then you figure out that there are many companies which are not there in India. So how does one identify those companies? So it is very important one look at international investing, and we also need to look at what has been the international global consumer trend has been. So it is very important to look at international investing, which was not part for in my opinion our investment discussion ever, because most of the experts in India used to talk about Indian equities, Indian market, but as you see in last 10 years, Nifty has delivered 8% CAGR, and international market, particularly US market, has delivered much higher number than those even in dollar term, and if you convert them in rupee term, it is much more significant. So one need to look at international investing. There are very interesting and path-breaking ideas coming up in international investing, where the acceleration to new ideas will happen very fast. So electricity took 25 years to penetrate in US, but internet took just 3-4 years. So that is a kind of explosion we are seeing. So in my opinion, healthcare will continue to emerge a significant sector of the world economy, because people are aging, we don't have good healthy habits, and people are going for health insurance. So the entire healthcare sector, whether it's diagnostic, whether it's a pharmaceutical company, whether it's a health insurance company, will continue to expand substantially. So there's a one part. The second part of the economy is that figure out where the young people are doing, what they are consuming, where they're spending time. So you'll find very interesting today. If you look at print media, you look at electronic media, you look at all other things, maximum time today actually is spent on mobile phone of individual. The newspaper has come down, the radio has come down, radio time has come down, the TV time has come down, the maximum time is about to spend on this. The second part, the gaming has become very big. But if you look at the ad revenue, the lowest allocation goes to gaming on mobile phone. So I think that will emerge a significant sector of the economy where the gaming will become the thing. High-end restaurant, now suppose the vaccine come, which will come actually in next 3-6 months or maximum 12 months. All of us will take in 2022 perhaps the best holiday we have taken in last 10 years, because we haven't taken holiday effectively in 2020, and perhaps in 2021 we'll not take one more holiday. We'll wait till the entire world come to a situation. So I think these are a very significant emerging sector of the economy where we see significant growth happening. So my call is that look at international investing, but international investing one should not do direct. International investing has to be done through fund structure which is available in India. So there's a one area one could look at investing. Now there are some question coming up. So can I take my stories those questions, or should I? What is sort of comment to me?
Yes, sir. No, definitely you can. A small request before we move to further any topic, like you have rightly nailed the point of international investing, but I believe still most of us are only having bird's eye view or no view. So can you little bit be more practical, that suppose we approach you, or how do you suggest that where one should go? Those some of the 2-3 mutual funds who have launched in India for the international, those kind of funds should be the approach?
Yes,
Or
yes, you are right, Maheshwari ji. जैसे अभी इन्वेस्को का ग्लोबल कंज्यूमर फंड आ रहा है, is a fantastic fund. मैं खुद अपना पैसा उस फंड में डाल रहा हूँ. It is a fantastic way they are investing, and US market से खाली 10-12% overlap है. अभी existing जो international fund है उससे 10-12% overlap है. तो अभी के मार्केट में US को मैं थोड़ा अवॉइड करूंगा. I look beyond US market where we seeing a lot of interesting thing happening, gaming happening, entertainment park, high-end restaurant, casinos, home improvement, a departmental store, because if in the entire world is moving toward working more from home, then people start spending more time or money on improving their houses. So the home improvement sales has significantly improved in various parts of the world. So these are the new ideas, and you need to capture at least 3-4 fund houses which capture these ideas. Now we look at what is happening in China. China is moving away from more export oriented to more domestic looking economy. And there's a huge wealth being created in China, and China's per capita income has also rose significantly. So the company which are going to benefit out of Chinese citizens' consumption pattern, one need to look at those kind of companies. So they are gaming company, entertainment company available. And if anybody who in a group has traveled to Las Vegas or Hong Kong or Macau, you'll figure out the biggest gambling is done by Chinese. The guys sit with the maximum chips are invariably Chinese and Japanese people. So if the adults are coming and getting themselves entertained, the youngsters are actually playing these games on the mobile phone. So I think that will become, in my opinion, a significant part of a consumption pattern for people. The distribution channel actually is collapsed. Today, Hindustan Unilever took 40-50 years to create a distribution channel. But today, suppose you have an interesting idea, you can upload on the Amazon, the entire world is you can look at buying. So investing, one need to learn every day. One cannot go with same view, one sleep every night. Every day is a new learning. So it is very important to keep, when you're actually doing direct investing, to capture the trend, not to commit to one ideology, one idea. Okay, this will always work. This will always work. It doesn't work like in the business of investing. Many big Indian investors actually missed out completely on the international opportunity, which has delivered the best return in last 10 years time. So now it is time one need to look at investing much more holistically. And also, as I told you, create a risk parameter in place where if you're making too much money, you start taking money out on a sustainable basis to create a very good portfolio for yourself.
Yes, sir. You can take the questions also.
So there's one question coming on Vedanta and Sun Pharmaceutical. So my call is that the entire commodity space is looking very good. And I tell you why it is looking very good. Biden has come. US need to spend $2 trillion on infrastructure in US. If you travel to US, you'll figure out that there's one country which needs new airport, new ports, US. The second part of the equation is this. Today, it is not on the table for discussion today in anywhere, but the biggest risk to your entire portfolio, if the interest rate remain this low, or if interest rates start to rise, then what will happen to various asset classes? There's one question one need to keep in mind. If interest rate has to rise, then it means that commodities will do very well. In rising inflationary environment, commodity always does very well. So commodities space to me looks very good. I will not participate directly into single stock. I'll not comment on that. But you want to play commodity, then there's a DSP, Natural Resources Fund, available in the market. You could examine that fund. That fund has done significantly well in the current market in last 1 month or so already. Sun Pharma, I already gave my perspective on the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry. I don't talk about a single stock anywhere in my communication, but that sector looks very good to me. Gold has to be part of investors' portfolio in a strategic manner. And why I'm saying it, because if you look at Indian data, for 95 years, we have data available in India. In rupee term, gold has delivered 8%, close to 8% CAGR. So it is a fantastic investment one could look at owning. So gold is a great investment, but please keep in mind, there have been history. Pretty recently, for 7 years, gold has not delivered return. Prior to that, there have been a 10, even 20 years period, gold has not delivered return. So when gold is not delivering return, that perhaps is the best time to look at adding gold to your portfolio on a regular basis. A better alternative to gold investing, actually there are two best alternatives, the best way to invest in gold. One is invest in jewelry. I never thought I will say that, but I'm saying invest in jewelry, because when you invest in jewelry, you don't sell it. When you invest in gold ETF and you see negative return on the portfolio, end up selling, you end up redeeming. लेकिन ज्वेलरी आपने खरीद ली तो भाभी जी 20 साल तक आपको बेचने देगी नहीं, एक जनरेशन तक बेचने देंगी नहीं, तो आपका उसमें पैसा बन जाएगा. The second way to look at is investing in gold mining companies. There are again option available through mutual fund route. But जैसे DSP gold mining fund, एक ही फंड अवेलेबल है इंडिया में भी. बट उस फंड में कब पैसा डालना चाहिए कि जब उस फंड का रिटर्न नेगेटिव दिख रहा है. क्योंकि अगर गोल्ड प्राइजेस ऊपर जाते हैं तो वो फंड का एनएवी उससे भी बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर जाता है, और जब गोल्ड प्राइजेस नीचे आते हैं तो उस फंड का एनएवी उससे ज्यादा नीचे आता है. तो जब उस फंड का रिटर्न बहुत नेगेटिव दिख रहा है तब उसके अंदर आप पैसा डालिए. बट सबसे अच्छा अल्टरनेट है कि गोल्ड के अंदर आप रेगुलर बेसिस पे एसआईपी कीजिए, अपना पोर्टफोलियो रिव्यू कीजिए. अगर उस एसआईपी के ऊपर रिटर्न नेगेटिव आ रहा है, then add more money. The more negative return you see in the gold, you add more money. That is the way you'll make big money in the gold. I can't take 5 years view because there have been period where 20 years gold does not deliver return, but gold has to be part of investors portfolio. Then Miss Lidhi Lalpuria ने एक सवाल पूछा कि how to get into international market through MF or direct. तो मेरा सजेशन है मैडम कि आप म्यूचुअल फंड के थ्रू इन्वेस्ट करिए, ये बहुत अच्छा ऑप्शन है. और अभी इंडिया में बहुत 5-6 ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है. नैस्डैक ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है, यूएस वैल्यू फंड अवेलेबल है, इन्वेस्ट कंज्यूमर ट्रेंड फंड अवेलेबल है. आपके पास 3-4 ऑप्शन है, 2-3 फंड में आप डाइवर्सिफाइड करके पैसा डाल सकते हैं. देन देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन क्रिप्टो करेंसी. देखिए मैंने इसमें मेरी समझ में आया नहीं, मैं पढ़ नहीं पाया इसको ढंग से. 2-3 लोगों से बात की तो आई कुड नॉट गेट क्लियरिटी. So on crypto, sorry, I don't have any answer about that. एफले इंडिया तो बहुत अच्छा चला है मेरे हिसाब से. I can't give view on the direct stock, but it is a new as way of investing. Then third question की what is the view on Dubai state real estate market? दुबई का रियल एस्टेट मार्केट का तो मुझे पता नहीं है, लेकिन कल मैं महेश्वरी जी से बात कर रहा था, मुझे लगता है इंडिया में रियल एस्टेट मार्केट बॉटम आउट हो रहा है, कमर्शियल एंड रियल एस्टेट. और जब बॉटम आउट कोई स्टॉक कोई भी एसेट कैटेगरी तब होती है जब उसके बारे में लोग बात करना पसंद नहीं करते. मतलब आप रियल एस्टेट का नाम लो, लोग चिढ़ जाते हैं अभी, मतलब कि क्या बात कर रहे हैं, और कोई नया लोकेशन देना नहीं चाहता है. तो मुझे लगता है कि 1 से 3 साल के अंदर रियल एस्टेट पूरा बॉटम आउट हो जाएगा. बट एक बात ध्यान रखना कि जो अपने हिस्टोरिकली पुराने मिस्टेक की है वो आप वापस मिस्टेक अभी नहीं करें. Then Mr. Ashok Jha का क्वेश्चन है, which 1 or 2 fund is this from international investment equities? देखिए सर, मैं जनरली किसी को भी रिकमेंड नहीं करता हूँ if somebody is not my investor. तो आपको अगर मेरे से फंड चाहिए, मैंने 2-3 फंड्स के नाम लिए हैं, बट सीमा मैडम और महेश्वरी जी मेरा ईमेल एड्रेस और मोबाइल शेयर करो लोगों को.
Yeah, we will do.
FMCG companies will continue to do well, बट मेरे हिसाब से FMCG में जो बड़ा पैसा बनना था वो काफी अच्छा बन चुका है. इंडिया में अभी you will see more money to be made on IT, pharma, autos, and now we'll see in manufacturing sector in India. और एक सज्जन का सवाल है मिस सितांशु दमानिया की, senior citizen are having tough time today, rate of fixed deposit is down, some banks are offering 7% with 5 lakh insurance cover will be available. What are the instrument recommendations? Up to 5 lakh rupees तो आपको guaranteed है, तो आप उसके अंदर डाल सकते हैं. लेकिन आप इसको कैसे इंटरेस्टिंगली इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं कि 7% आप मल्टीपल अकाउंट में डाल सकते हैं. जैसे सीतांशु दमानिया जी ने एक सवाल पूछा, सीतांशु आप अपने नाम पे डालिए, सेकंड नाम किसी और का रखिए, दूसरा अकाउंट खोलिए, उसमें सेकंड वाले का पहला नाम रहे, आपका सेकंड नाम रहे. ऐसा अगर आप मल्टीपल अकाउंट 5-5 लाख तक खोलेंगे तो आपको वो 5 लाख तक का कवर मिलेगा, और उसमें 7% के अंदर कोई भी चैलेंज नहीं है. फिर निधि लालपुरिया जी का एक सवाल है कि व्हाट इज टू बेटर टू इन्वेस्ट इन ETF और सॉवरेन बॉन्ड फॉर गोल्ड. एक्चुअली इनके सबके एडवांटेज है, डिसएडवांटेज है. सॉवरेन गोल्ड बॉन्ड के एडवांटेज है कि आपको 2% के आसपास एडिशनल रिटर्न मिलता है. उसके अलावा लेकिन उसमें आपको मिनिमम 7 साल का व्यू लेके चलना पड़ता है. ETF का एडवांटेज क्या है कि आप रेगुलरली इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, इसलिए आपका एवरेज कॉस्ट उसके अंदर हमेशा ETF के अंदर कम आएगा. तो मेरा रिकमेंडेशन रेगुलर इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए आप ETF का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. PGIM India. PGIM is a company which I promoted in India. PGIM का पहले का नाम था, बाद में इसका नाम चेंज करके इन्होंने PGIM कर दिया। इस फंड ने बहुत अच्छा रिटर्न दिया है, लेकिन अभी मेरा व्यू है कि यूएस मार्केट में ज्यादा पैसा नहीं रखना चाहिए। One need to examine other than US market, because US में profit has grown up significantly last 7-8 years. Corporate profitability at the percent of its GDP is 20-year high. So US may continue to do well, but every rise in US market increases the risk. फिर किसी ने सितांशु दमानिया ने बोला कि investing in jewelry has one drawback, losing left. बिल्कुल सही बात है सर, तो वो तो अपने को सारे challenges मालूम ही है।
Yes.
हाँ, बैलेंस फंड और ELSS फंड्स आर नॉट परफॉर्मिंग इवन अ सेंसेक्स ऑल टाइम हाई। आपकी बात सही है। नॉट ओनली बैलेंस फंड के अंदर मेरे हिसाब से अभी पैसा नहीं रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि बैलेंस फंड के अंदर जो डेट का पोर्टफोलियो है उस पर आपको इफेक्टिवली 4.5-5% रिटर्न आ रहा है, और उसके ऊपर 2% खर्चा, तो इफेक्टिवली वहां पे 3% रिटर्न आ रहा है। तो बैलेंस 65% जो इक्विटी का उसको खींचना पड़ रहा है, तो अभी बहुत चैलेंजिंग टाइम है बैलेंस फंड के अंदर पैसा डाल के रखना। तो मेरे हिसाब से कस्टमर को अपना एलोकेशन सेपरेटली रखना चाहिए, बैलेंस फंड में पैसा नहीं डालना चाहिए। ELSS, yes, not only ELSS, many mutual fund today are struggling to outperform indices because क्योंकि 15-20 स्टॉक ही चल रहे हैं। सेकंड क्या हो गया कि रिलायंस का वेटेज 15% हो गया निफ्टी के अंदर, और बाय सेबी मैंडेट कोई भी म्यूचुअल फंड एक सिंगल स्टॉक में 10% के ऊपर पैसा नहीं डाल सकता, क्योंकि रिलायंस चलता रहेगा तो डेफिनेटली अंडर परफॉर्म करेंगे। दूसरा क्या है कि म्यूचुअल फंड का पोर्टफोलियो होता है मिनिमम 25 से 40 स्टॉक का, और चल रहे हैं 10-15 स्टॉक सिग्निफिकेंटली। तो शॉर्ट पीरियड के अंदर एक फेज है जिसके अंदर की अंडर परफॉर्मेंस हो रही है म्यूचुअल फंड की, बस ये फेज है। लेकिन अगर आपको थोड़ा चैलेंज लगता है तो जैसे मैंने बोला कि बाय एंड होल्ड में आपका पोर्टफोलियो होना चाहिए कुछ, और वो पोर्टफोलियो आप इंडेक्स फंड के थ्रू पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं। आजकल निफ्टी का इंडेक्स फंड है, नेक्स्ट निफ्टी 50 का इंडेक्स फंड है, मिड कैप का इंडेक्स फंड है, स्मॉल कैप का इंडेक्स फंड है। तो थोड़ा थोड़ा अलोकेशन आप इन फंड के अंदर भी मेरे हिसाब से कर सकते हैं। फिर मिस्टर मनमोहन गुप्ता जी का सवाल है कि हैवी इंजीनियरिंग इंफ्रा रिलेटेड कंपनी कैन परफॉर्म बेटर इन नेक्स्ट 3 to 5 years। यस, पॉसिबिलिटी है, क्योंकि फोकस गवर्नमेंट का इंफ्रा स्पेंडिंग के ऊपर आने वाला है। बट ये मैं आपको इंफ्रा कंपनी के थ्रू पार्टिसिपेट करने की सलाह नहीं दूंगा, क्योंकि मैनी इंफ्रा कंपनी हिस्टोरिकली हैड अ वेरी पुअर गवर्नेंस ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड। सो आई वुड लुक एट दैट आर यू पार्टिसिपेट इन दीज थ्रू अदर वेज। द अदर वेज टू पार्टिसिपेट कि कर इंफ्रा पिक हुआ तो कैपिटल गुड्स पिक होगा, कमोडिटीज पिक होगा, सीमेंट पिक होगा, स्टील पिक होगा। You can do through that structure, or even you want to do that, then do through a fund. Don't look at investing in those companies directly. दमानिया जी ने वापस सवाल पूछा कि सीनियर सिटीजन को 7.4% मिल रहा है 5 साल का। दमानिया जी, अगर आपको ये मिल रहा है तो 5 साल का लॉक इन कोई नुकसान वाली बात नहीं। अगर 7.4% आपको मिल रहा है तो आप इसके अंदर जरूर पैसा डालिए। ट्रांसमिशन थ्रू विल और ट्रस्ट, व्हाट इज सुटेबल इफ सक्सेसर आर बेस्ड अब्रॉड? ये तो आपको किसी लॉयर से ही बात करनी पड़ेगी। देखो, दोनों के एडवांटेज डिसएडवांटेज है। विल के अंदर क्या, विल कैन बी चैलेंज। ट्रस्ट में क्या, एक दफा पैसा ट्रांसफर कर दिया तो नोबडी कैन चैलेंज दैट मनी बिकॉज़ समबडी इज ट्रांसफर्ड व्हेन समबडी वाज क्रिएटिंग दैट ट्रस्ट। तो उसके एडवांटेज है, लेकिन डिसएडवांटेज क्या है कि इसको पैसा आप वापस निकाल नहीं सकते। तो मैं 1-on-1 पे इस चीज के बारे में आप लोगों को बता सकता हूँ। फिर महेश बोरा जी का सवाल है कि which sector is good for SU stock? I don't understand.
I think PSU. I think he is referring PSU.
देखिए, मेरे हिसाब से मेरा व्यू पिछले 1-1.5 साल से है कि PSUs will do well in my opinion। और PSU के अंदर most of the PSUs are monopolistic sector. They have huge cash flows, high dividend paying। सो डायरेक्ट लेने के बजाय आप इनको किसी फंड के थ्रू लो, और इन्वेस्ट का PSU फंड बहुत अच्छा है मेरे हिसाब से, तो आप थ्रू पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हो। फिर से पीओ संगोई जी का है कि व्हाट इज योर आउटलुक ऑन फिजिकल गोल्ड अपार्ट फ्रॉम यूकेप एंड डू यू सजेस्ट इन्वेस्ट इन क्रिप्टो? देखिए, क्रिप्टो मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है, समझ में नहीं आया। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि इट इज नॉट अ गुड इन्वेस्टमेंट, बट आई एम नॉट एक्सपर्ट ऑन दैट, सो आई कांट वेरी ऑनेस्टली कमेंट। और जिस असेट कैटेगरी में मैंने अपना खुद का पैसा नहीं डाला है उसके अंदर में मुझे लगता है बात करना ठीक नहीं है। Sir, your ideas in startup companies considering the growth of this country. देखिए नरेंद्र मेहता जी का सवाल है कि स्टार्टअप बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग आइडिया है, लेकिन इंडिया में कोई बड़ा प्रॉफिटेबल स्टार्टअप एक सिग्निफिकेंट लेवल पे काफी कंपनियां हुई नहीं है। तो अगर आपको स्टार्टअप का पोर्टफोलियो बनाना तो कम से कम आपको 10-20 कंपनियों का पोर्टफोलियो बनाना चाहिए, और कोई भी कंपनी में अपनी नेट वेल्थ का आधे से 1% के ऊपर नहीं जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली ओनली 10% कंपनी विल जनरेट रिटर्न फॉर यू। बट स्टार्टअप को आपको देखना चाहिए अपनी लर्निंग के हिसाब से भी कि भैया मेरे को लर्निंग क्या, वर्ल्ड कहाँ जा रहा है, कहाँ नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है, कहाँ नया कंजम्पशन पैटर्न इमर्ज हो रहा है, दुनिया क्या सोच रही है, उसके हिसाब से भी आप लोगों को स्टार्टअप को मेरे हिसाब से अभी इन दिस मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड आपको एग्जामिन करना चाहिए, नॉट प्योरली फ्रॉम ए इन्वेस्टमेंट पर्सपेक्टिव।
Mehta ji, you can unmute and raise your query. Yeah, Mehta ji, please. Narendra Mehta ji, you wanted to raise something. You are raising the hand. So please unmute and ask.
Yeah. Saji, the idea of investing, my next question is also there. You know that at present there are 50,000 startup company in India, vis-a-vis 15 lakhs in China and 12 lakhs in USA. Considering the Atmanirbhar scheme, probably I feel that many small startup companies with a good background and with good sector probably are likely to do much better than the listed shares on a stock exchange. What's your idea, sir?
आपकी बात नरेंद्र जी मैं पूरी तरह से सहमत हूँ, और मुझे लगता है कि ट्रेमेंडस ग्रोथ स्टार्टअप्स के अंदर आएगी, लेकिन जैसे आपने बोला कि इंडिया के अंदर 50,000 कंपनियां हैं, तो आप कैसे हम चूज करें कौन सा स्टार्टअप फ्रॉड है, कौन सा स्टार्टअप जेन्युइन है। और अनलिस्टेड कंपनी में इंडिया में कहानी ये है कि until unless the promoter is in your pocket or you're very चडी बडी with him, वो कहाँ आपको शॉर्ट चेंज करके चला जाएगा एक्चुअली पता करना बहुत ही ज्यादा मुश्किल है। तो अपने को क्या देखना है कि वन इज दैट अगर आपको आइडिया अच्छा लगा, आपको कुछ इंडस्ट्री लाइन ठीक लगी, लोग आपको ठीक लगे, थोड़ा थोड़ा आपको डेफिनेटली एक्सपोजर लेने में कोई नुकसान नहीं है। मेहता जी मेरा व्यू ये 5 साल पहले नहीं था, लेकिन मेरा व्यू चेंज हुआ बिकॉज मैंने देखा कि भाई जहाँ ग्रोथ आ रही है वहां अपने को अपना व्यू चेंज करना पड़ता है। तो मेरा व्यू आपके साथ पूरी तरह सहमत हूँ। दूसरा अल्टरनेट है कि क्या लिस्टेड स्पेस से हम इसको कुछ पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं क्या। अगर स्टार्टअप बढ़ा तो टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनियां की जबरदस्त ग्रोथ आने वाली है। देयर कंपनीज विच प्रोवाइड स्टाफ टू दीज कंपनीज, सो दिस कैन बी प्लेड इनडायरेक्टली एज वेल। उसमें इतना सिग्निफिकेंट ग्रोथ नहीं आएगा, लेकिन थोड़ा बहुत ग्रोथ आएगा। तो यस, अगर आपको अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है स्टार्टअप में तो आपको जरूर उसको मेहता जी एग्जामिन करना चाहिए।
Yes, sir. There is one additional question on that. There are many incubators company which have started who are doing the appraisal of all startup companies in India, which probably were not there earlier. I'm talking about since 4 or 5 years that there are few companies those who have come as an incubators, in the country. And considering the aspect like, most of the time on a listed company, we depend upon the report prepared by the big brokers and all that. Now here, the same incubator company is working as a facilitator and giving you the entire report of all the startup companies, including sector-wise, including promoter-wise, and including their financials, and those are the startup companies which are in the market since more than 3-4 years. Like they require pre-money valuation or seed funding or angel funding. So I think that which you feel that on an individual level, if you have to take a call, instead by becoming a member of such an incubator company where the reports are easily available to you and you can choose the company out of them.
पॉइंट फेयर है मेहता जी। तो मेरा ओपिनियन है कि आप इनको चूज कर सकते हैं, और स्टार्टअप में मेरे हिसाब से आपको कोई ग्रुप बना के जाना चाहिए 5-6 लोगों का। तो अपना खाली अकेले का थॉट प्रोसेस नहीं है, बिकॉज समटाइम वी स्टार्ट लाइकिंग अवर व्यू टू मच, वी गेट ब्लाइंडेड टू रिस्क विच वी डोंट सी। तो स्टार्टअप करना है तो कम से कम अपने 4-5 दोस्तों के साथ आप कर सकते हो। जैसे आपने एक अभी ऑप्शन बताया, तो वो भी एक अच्छा तरीका है। startup को examine करने का. But it's good that you should have 5-6 people who have ability to think differently. I think it'll be a good idea to look at startups.
I think that is what Mr. Mehta is suggesting, that there are some venture catalysts available in the market. And what typically you are looking for is a professional help, and which they are giving it.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात.
So yes, as a concept, even you are appreciating it, that yes,
Yes,
one should think
yes,
of investing
yes.
slowly and steadily
बिल्कुल
and try to create a portfolio.
बिल्कुल करना चाहिए. तो सदाशिव सेठी जी का बोला, can you suggest a structure for how does a passive investor monitor performance of one's? तो सर ये आप, मैंने आपको अपना email address से मोबाइल नंबर दिया, सदाशिव जी सेठी. You can reach out to me and I can help you in that.
Yeah.
Then Mr. Damania ji का आया कि some power companies are issuing bonds with around 15% return and saying that is guaranteed by state government. Are they safe according to you? Very apprehensive with respect to power thefts, very prevalent in UP. And that is the reason, sir, कि ये bond, the UP government के दो bond है, and they are available at different yield. One bond is, money is coming through RBI, so that bond is safe, and that's why that bond is available at lower yield. Other bond, it is a guarantee of the state government. So if the bond is available about 10%, then you know the risk why it is available at 10%. आपको एक छोटा सा मैं फॉर्मूला देके जाता हूँ फिक्स इनकम में पैसा डालने का. वो फॉर्मूला ये है, 3 से 5 साल की SBI की FD रेट देखो, वो 5 से 6% के आसपास है सारे बैंक का. उसके ऊपर 2 से 3% रिटर्न आ रहा है, इसका मतलब वो रिस्की है, क्योंकि सिंपल लॉजिक है, बैंक का निम्न मार्जिन होता है 3% के आसपास. तो अगर 5% FD रेट है तो 8% पे बैंक नॉर्मल लैंड कर रहा है. अगर किसी को आज बैंक लैंड करने को तरस रहे हैं, आज 8% पे भी आपको बॉन्ड 8 का 10 मिल रहा है, इसका मतलब उसके अंदर इंक्रीमेंटल रिस्क है. वो रिस्क आपको सोच समझ के लेनी है, क्योंकि पहली बार हिंदुस्तान के इतिहास में हुआ है कि परपेचुअल बॉन्ड को RBI ने कंप्लीटली राइट ऑफ कर दिया है, चाहे वो यस बैंक का हो चाहे LVB का हो.
Yes.
तो गारंटी नहीं है कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर भी अपना हाथ ऊपर कर दें और बोल दे भैया आपने 3 साल 10.5% कमाया है, अभी बाय बाय टाटा. तो just keep that in mind. If anything about 2.5 to 3% more than bank deposit rate, you understand it's come with additional risk.
Ashok Ladda ji is asking, where is 7.5% available to senior citizens?
हो सकता है जैसे आज IDFC बैंक में 7% के आसपास नॉर्मल इन्वेस्टर को दे रहे हैं वो डिपॉजिट में पैसा, हो सकता है सीनियर सिटीजन को 7.5 के आसपास 7.4. There are some government scheme where you get money, उसमें 15 लाख का लिमिट होता है. So there are options available in the market where people can look at parking their money. और उसमें पता नहीं कभी कोई अच्छा कोऑपरेटिव बैंक भी हो सकता है, बट आज की तारीख में गुड कोऑपरेटिव बैंक लाइक Saraswat and they are not offering this kind of return today.
Yes. Guilt funds.
Actually, Harihar ji, I have done a show on Bloomberg on gilt fund versus FD. It's a very ironic thing, and you bought it very nicely. In last 20 years, gilt fund has delivered 9% compounded return. In last 10 years, gilt has been the best performing asset category in India, even beating equity return. In 20-year time, gilt fund has delivered one of the best return, but total asset under management with mutual fund is just 11,000 crore. If you want to invest in gilt fund, invest regularly. Don't have a view of less than 5 years. If you do that, you are going to make very decent money in every 5-year time period. If you invest regularly, gilt fund outperform bank FD. So invest in gilt fund, but invest with minimum 5-year view. Invest regularly. If you do that, you will make money, because gilt fund, the way it is been structured is so beautiful. If the interest rate rise, then what happens? Whatever coupon you get on gilt securities that get reinvested at a high rate of interest, and the interest rate fall, then what happens? You have capital gain. So I've done one survey, one show with the Bloomberg, where I presented data when the interest rate is rising and when the interest rate is falling, how gilt fund has performed in last 20 years. So gilt fund is one idea where you should look at investing, but keep minimum 5-year view and invest regularly. How about
somebody is asking about post office schemes?
देखिए डालना चाहिए। अब मतलब वहां 7% के आसपास जो भी रिटर्न छूट रहा है, मेरे हिसाब से इस बाजार में 7% के आसपास फिक्स रिटर्न और कहीं आपको मिलेगा नहीं। तो जो भी लिमिट है 3 लाख तक की, आप उसके अंदर पैसा डाल सकते हो। यार गवर्नमेंट टैक्स बॉन्ड ऑफ अराउंड 7% आर सेफ, कैन बी पुट बिग अमाउंट।
Are there LICs where they are giving more than 7% are the safe?
ये I don't very honestly don't trust too many LIC products, because what has been communicated is very different than what actually comes out, and nobody keep track. Is 7% compounded? Is 7+% flat? They don't clarify these things in absolute terms. So I don't trust that. Yeah, 7% गवर्नमेंट सेविंग प्रोडक्ट है, आप उनके अंदर पैसा डाल सकते हो, वो टैक्सेबल है, बट 7% गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया बॉन्ड इज नॉट अ बैड आइडिया in a current market condition, provided you do not want any volatility on your portfolio. लेकिन जो इंटरेस्ट है, अगर आप उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, तो उस इंटरेस्ट को आप इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करते रहिए, आपका रिटर्न और भी अच्छा हो जाएगा।
Friends, to all of you, I can inform you one thing which I missed in my introduction is Vijay Mantri ji is regularly available on G Business and Bloomberg, apart from his own YouTube video. So many of his experts' opinion, possibly in the shortage of time, we may not have covered or will not be able to cover it. You can always reach to him. Plus, he has shared his mobile number and email IDs. So anybody who is looking for his professional help, again, you are free to reach to him individually. Please continue with your queries.
अय्यर जी ने मुझे बोला कि कैन यू गिव लिंक ऑफ वीडियो प्रोग्राम, तो आप अय्यर जी जस्ट गिव मिस कॉल टू मी ऑन माय मोबाइल नंबर, और मैं आपको लिंक भेज दूंगा ब्लूमबर्ग और के जो मैंने गिल्ड फंड पे जो शो किया, आप उसको देख लीजिए। अगर आपको ईमेल दे दो आप, तो मैं आपको अपनी पीपीटी भी शेयर कर लूंगा, आप उसको आराम से देख के अपना जजमेंट ले सकते हैं। यू कैन कॉल मी कैन आई कैन हेल्प यू इन दैट।
Yeah. Friends, do we have any more queries to be answered by Mantri ji? Okay, Shima madam.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There is one query which is missed actually. Whether
Yeah, please.
investment under debt fund PPF is best for child for age around 14-15 years for wealth creation in next 5 to 7 years, or any other means, please guide.
देखिए आपको मेरा सिंपल सजेशन है कि आप पीपीएफ में पैसा डालते हैं, उतने ही पैसे की आप इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड के अंदर ईएलएसएस के अंदर पैसा डालिए and see magic after 7-8 years. Okay, तो दोनों में पैसा डालिए, अच्छा वेल्थ क्रिएट होगा। चैलेंज ये है कि अगर इंटरेस्ट रेट नीचे जाता जाएगा तो आपको पीपीएफ पे भी सरकार को इंटरेस्ट रेट नीचे करना पड़ेगा। आज की तारीख में सरकार इंटरेस्ट रेट नीचे नहीं कर रही है क्योंकि उसकी मजबूरी है, क्योंकि जो एफसीआई में जो बोरोइंग हो रही है वो सारी ये कॉन्टेक्चुअल सेविंग स्कीम से सारा का सारा पैसा जा रहा है सरकार की तरफ से। वैसे गवर्नमेंट बहुत क्लियर है, 10 ईयर जीसेक के 0.25% ऊपर ही पीपीएफ का रिटर्न आना चाहिए। तो 10 ईयर जीसेक 590 के आसपास है, तो 10 ईयर जीसेक पीपीएफ का रिटर्न 6-10 6-15 के ऊपर नहीं जाएगा। तो आपको पीपीएफ के का अल्टरनेट आपको एग्जामिन करना पड़ेगा, कोई उपाय नहीं है अपने पास अभी।
Mr. Harier wanted to know your views on ULIPs.
देखिए यूलिप्स यंग इन्वेस्टर के लिए यूलिप कैन बी ए वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग चॉइस, बिकॉज वहाँ मोर्टेलिटी रेट कम होती है और कंपेयर टू इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड ईएलएसएस के अंदर टैक्स बेनिफिट है, क्योंकि 10 साल के बाद आपका पैसा, इवन 5 साल के बाद आपका पैसा टैक्स फ्री है। लेकिन आपको लो कॉस्ट यूलिप लेना है, और लो कॉस्ट यूलिप लेना चैलेंज है, क्योंकि कोई भी आपका एडवाइजर आपको लो कॉस्ट यूनिट बेचेगा नहीं, क्योंकि उसकी अर्निंग उसके अंदर नहीं होती है। दूसरा, आपके पास फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी खत्म हो जाती है, कम से कम 5 साल कमिट करना पड़ता है आपको, परफॉर्मेंस अच्छा नहीं रहा तो आप पैसा निकाल नहीं सकते। तो ये 2 चैलेंज है। स्ट्रक्चरली बहुत बढ़िया है, तो अगर आपको यूलिप लेना है तो यंग लोगों के नाम पे लीजिए आप, जहाँ मोर्टेलिटी रेट बहुत कम है, और 4-5 इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में पैसा डालिए परफॉर्मेंस देख के। लेकिन जो परफॉर्मेंस यूलिप के दिखाते हैं, कई बार क्या होता है, परफॉर्मेंस फंड की आती है और आपको लगता है कि आपका का सारा पैसा फंड में चला जाता है, लेकिन आपका सारा पैसा फंड में नहीं जाता है, तो जो यूलिप की जो परफॉर्मेंस है और जो आपके पैसे की परफॉर्मेंस है उसमें डाइवर्जेंट होना बहुत स्वाभाविक है, तो उस बात को आप ध्यान रखिएगा।
Mr. Surana wanted to know your view about Reliance Industries investing more than 10% of his portfolio. I don't think you would like to.
देखिए, रिलायंस को समझना, 300 सब्सिडरी कंपनी है रिलायंस की।
True.
बस मैं कहूंगा, बाद में अपना कॉल लीजिए आप।
Sitanshu Damania ji asking percentage wise division you recommend out of your 100 rupees investable fund.
देखिए, ये कहानी अभी खत्म हो गई है। जैसे मैंने बिगनिंग में बोला,
Yeah.
पहले आप बोलते थे कि गोल्ड में इतना रखो, इक्विटी में, डेट में इतना रखो। अभी जब डेट में आपका रिटर्न ही 3% आ रहा है, तो एसेट एलोकेशन मॉडल खत्म हो गया। तो क्या करना चाहिए अभी? जो आपको पैसा 5 साल तक चाहिए, वो पैसा आप डेट में रखो, चाहे वो डेट एफडी हो, चाहे वो लिक्विड फंड हो या अल्ट्रा शॉर्ट टर्म फंड हो। वहाँ रिटर्न मत देखो, वहां आपको देखो ये मेरी जरूरत के लिए पार किया हुआ रिटर्न, डेट में इस माहौल में तो बड़ा आने वाला नहीं है। और 5 साल के ऊपर का पैसा आप धीरे धीरे इक्विटी के अंदर पैसा डालो, और कोई उपाय नहीं है। एसेट एलोकेशन देख के आप पैसा नहीं डाल सकते हो। अगर आप 60 साल के, आपको लगता है कि आप बुजुर्ग हो रहे हो, आपको 20 साल और जीना है, तो 20 साल के हिसाब से इन्वेस्टमेंट करो, नहीं कि आपकी 60 साल की उम्र उस हिसाब से। तो इस चीज को आप ध्यान में रखिएगा।
Whether Vale is worth buying at this rate.
सर, मैं डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स के बारे में,
Yeah, I mean, all the participants, we request that better we avoid asking any specific company specific query or pricing structure and all. No speaker would like to comment on that. IT sector, how will it do in next 2 to 3 years time?
IT sector will do continue to well because more and more we are moving toward वर्क फ्रॉम। एक तो छोटी सी बात है, लेकिन अपनी लाइफ में हर जगह आईटी इज लाइक वाटर। आप कोई भी चीज कंज्यूम करते हो तो पानी होता ही है, ठीक है ना। ड्राई कोई चीज बन नहीं सकती, और ड्राई चीज को खा भी नहीं सकता। इवन वी ईट फ्रूट्स हैव अ लॉट ऑफ वाटर कंटेंट। तो आईटी वैसे अपने पूरे सिस्टम में फैल चुका है। तो आईटी विल कंटिन्यू डू वेल, एंड इंडिया हैव वेरी ब्रिलियंट इंजीनियर्स, एंड लॉट ऑफ आईटी कंपनीज इन लास्ट 5-6 year remodel their businesses. तो अभी मेरे हिसाब से आईटी विल कंटिन्यू टू डू वेल। आप देखिए ना कि आज जो नया कार आप लेते हो उसके अंदर पूरा सिस्टम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक हो गया और पूरा कंप्यूटराइज हो गया। तो उस जो पहले गाड़ी को एक सड़क वाला मैकेनिक खोल के काम कर सकता था, वो भी हो नहीं पाएगा उससे। तो डेफिनेटली आईटी, फार्मा, जैसे मैंने बोला, ऑटो इंडस्ट्री, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक, इनमें इंडिया will become, and actually is becoming, world leader. Will become supply chain to the many part of the world economy in these things.
Mr. Ashok Jha wanted your view on airlines industries.
देखिए, एयरलाइन सिचुएशन तो एयरलाइन का जबरदस्त इंप्रूवमेंट आने वाला है। ये कोविड वैक्सीन जब आ जाएगा, जब भी आ जाएगा, पीपल विल स्टार्ट ट्रेवलिंग अगेन। ओके, और अभी क्या हुआ कि सब कंपनियों ने सिग्निफिकेंट कॉस्ट रिडक्शन कर दिया है। एम्प्लॉयज कॉम्पनसेशन, वर्क फ्रॉम होम, ऑफिसेस छोटे हो गए, रेंट रीनेगोशिएट हो गए। जो पहले कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में खर्चे जाते थे, ट्रेवल में बड़े खर्चे जाते थे, वो कम हो गया। तो मोर एफिशिएंसी, फ्यूल प्राइस आल्सो कम डाउन सब्सटेंशियली, इंटरेस्ट रेट हैज कम डाउन, तो लीज रेंटल हैज कम डाउन। तो इन सब चीजों का फायदा तो एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री को होगा। तो मेरे हिसाब से even restaurant, hotels, in next 6 to 1 month, they will do very well. मैं अभी लोनावाला था करीब 10-15 दिन पहले, and I moved around 20 resorts. आप मुझे जाके पूछिए तो बोलते कि जब से ओपन हुआ सर, तब से 100% ऑक्यूपेंसी हमारी चल रही है। आप 31st का रिजर्वेशन करा के देख लो, कितना मालूम पड़ जाएगा आपको क्या हालत है।
Yes, interesting.
फिर
Somebody is asking about power sector, your recommendation on any solar energy, e-car.
ये सेक्टर तो देखिए बहुत जबरदस्त तरक्की इस सेक्टर के अंदर आएगी, because world is looking at this problem of global warming seriously. तो उसके अंदर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वे टू काउंटर इज टू आपका एमिशन लेवल बहुत नीचे हो जाएगा. DSP ग्लोबल नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज फंड है जिसके अंदर around 15-20% assets are invested in global renewable energy. So you can, through that fund, you can participate in renewable energy. क्योंकि इंडिया में जो 2-3 renewable energy वाली कंपनियां, उनका corporate governance काफी challenging है, तो perhaps will not look at those companies.
Some participants wanted to raise, please unmute yourself and ask the queries to Mantri ji.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mr. Mantri, looking at renewable energies and infra structure product, or sector, what do you feel considering the huge infrastructure is taken up by the ministry as
सीमा जी, आपने सबको म्यूट कर दिया है.
Yeah. Now it is there, sir. Yeah. Mantri ji, now it is there. Yeah.
हाँ, तो नरेंद्र जी ने मुझे पूछा कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर, इसमें there are two ways to participate in any sector. One is to you participate directly where you own the company. So it is basically happen asset buying. तो वहाँ corporate governance एक बहुत बड़ा challenge हो जाता है. Government policy become a big challenge. Second, you buy through, earlier people used to buy through banking channel because bank used to fund to these people. And third is that when you look at infrastructure and renewable energy, you look at the value chain and figure out who supplied to them and what has been the growth driver for these companies. So for instance, I'll give you an illustration. Battery manufacturing company made big money because of mobile telephony increase in India, because in many part of the India electricity was a challenge. तो टावर लगाने पड़ते थे, टावर के अंदर बैटरी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के लिए उनको बैटरी का बैकअप देना पड़ता था. तो बैटरी इंडस्ट्री benefited significantly out of increase in mobile telephony, though there was a price war happening on the mobile side, but on battery side they did very well. So similarly, you look at the entire value chain and figure out कि renewable energy के अंदर कौन सी कंपनियां क्या सप्लाई कर रही है और क्या उसके अंदर अच्छी लिस्टेड कंपनी अवेलेबल है which are going to benefit out of it, then definitely you can look at investing in those idea. But आप खुद एग्जामिन करने के बाद उसको कॉल लीजिए उसके ऊपर. But it is a good idea, a good area to look and examine.
One Rumi madam is asking, how will the new margin norms will impact the markets?
नहीं मैम, मैं डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में दिमाग लगाता नहीं हूँ, लेकिन beside new margin rule, I think what will drive market is what FIs are doing in immediate basis, क्योंकि वो ज्यादा इम्पैक्ट करता है. तो वो उन्होंने काफी पैसा डाल रखा है बाजार में. नवंबर महीने में 60,000 करोड़, one of the highest we have seen. So as I told you, one risk we run if the interest rate cycle reverses. If the interest rate cycle reverses, then a lot of money may move out of India to US market. So at that time, market may look a little bit challenging.
Sir, here you mean interest rates reversal in the US markets or in Indian markets?
Everywhere it can happen.
No, but typically like both are linked, do you feel? No.
But इंडिया में तो मुझे लगता है कि इंटरेस्ट रेट को ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर इनपुट कॉस्ट आप सब इंडस्ट्री में देख लीजिए बहुत बढ़ गया है. तो उसका इफेक्ट तो आएगा, धीरे धीरे आएगा.
Mr. Vijay Maliwal wanted to have your view on chemical and specialty chemical industries considering the government support.
देखिए, कंपनियां तो बहुत अच्छा काम करेगी, लेकिन चैलेंज क्या है कि इन कंपनियों के दाम इतने बढ़ गए हैं पिछले 1-1.5 साल के अंदर. तो अभी वन नीड टू एग्जामिन देम मोर क्लोजली. बट बड़ा पैसा तो इनमें बन चुका ऑलरेडी. कंपनी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस देती रहेगी, लेकिन यहाँ से वापस बड़ा पैसा बनेगा तो मेरा थोड़ा वहां पे किसी ने मुझे प्राइवेट मैसेज भेजा, तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि प्राइवेट मैसेज आई कांट एड्रेस, सो इधर यू ईमेल मी और व्हाट्सएप मी सर। रविंद्र पाठक जी है, मिस्टर शेट्टी है, तो आप मुझे व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिए, आई विल ट्राई टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू यू। बट इन्होंने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल किया कि व्हाट शुड बी द अप्रोप्रिएट लेवल वेयर वन शुड सेल द शेयर्स टू इनकैश प्रॉफिट इन केस increasing in market at present. So I'll give a very interesting and very simple solution. What should you do?
Please.
कई बार हम लोग डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं और उस स्टॉक का प्राइस भी हमने बढ़ता हुआ देखा है, लेकिन उसके बाद उसमें करेक्शन आ जाता है, हमारा खाली प्रॉफिट पेपर पे रहता है, हमने एक्चुअल कभी रियलाइज नहीं किया होता उसको। सो आई हैव फॉलोड अ वेरी सिंपल मेथड एंड अ लॉट ऑफ माय इन्वेस्टर डू फॉलो दैट, कि डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में आपने पैसा डाला है, आप हर महीने पोर्टफोलियो को देखें। अगर निफ्टी 2% ऊपर गया है और आपका जो भी स्टॉक 2% से ज्यादा ऊपर गया, कोई स्टॉक 20% गया, कोई 10 गया, कोई 5 गया है, तो 2% के ऊपर जो भी गेन है ना, वो आप रेगुलर बेसिस पे निकालते रहे हर मंथ पे। अगर वो आप रेगुलरली करते रहे, कोई स्टॉक 10 टाइम बढ़ गया, सपोज 5 टाइम बढ़ गया, 3 टाइम बढ़ गया, अगर आपने स्ट्रक्चर फॉलो किया तो एटलीस्ट आपने अपनी प्रिंसिपल तो वापस अपने घर में लाके रख ली है। तो यू फॉलो दैट स्ट्रक्चर। व्यू बेस की ये खराब लग रहा है, यहाँ से 5 गुना बढ़ जाएगा, तो वो कहानी हो जाती है। क्योंकि क्या होता है, जब स्टॉक बढ़ता है तो बहुत बढ़ता है, और जब आप उसको बेच नहीं पाते, उसमें 50% करेक्शन भी हो गया, तो मतलब बेसिकली आप जहां थे वहीं पे आ गए। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि आप ये थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर तरीके से इन्वेस्ट करें स्टॉक्स को। ये फॉर्मूला से आप लोग, क्योंकि पी मल्टीपल का मतलब नहीं है, आज एशियन पेंट 91 पी मल्टीपल पे अवेलेबल है, आपको क्या पी मल्टीपल में निकालने की बोलूं स्टॉक में।
True.
तो आप ये सिंपल फॉलो मेथड करो कि मेरा 1 लाख रुपया डाला हुआ है, निफ्टी 2% बढ़ा, मेरा पोर्टफोलियो 10% बढ़ा है, 1,10,000 हो गया, तो 2% के ऊपर जो भी बढ़ा 8,000 रुपया मैं निकाल के अपना डेट के अंदर पैसा डाल दूंगा। आप ये स्ट्रक्चर मेरे हिसाब से फॉलो करें।
Very interesting. Madam, we have any more queries which I might have missed it?
एक दमानिया जी ने पूछा कि मेरी डॉटर यूएस में है, उनके लिए क्या, तो अगर यूएस में है तो मुझे लगता है उनको यूएस में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए। यूएस में बहुत ज्यादा ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है इन्वेस्टिंग के लिए, तो यूएस मार्केट में मुझे लगता है उनको कंटिन्यू अपना पैसा इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए। और थोड़ा बहुत डिवर्सिफिकेशन के लिए अगर उनको पैसा यूएस में ही रखना है, तो वहां से आप वहाँ ग्लोबल ईटीएफ के थ्रू इंडिया में पार्टिसिपेट कर सकती हैं। वो अगर यहाँ पैसा भेजना है तो यहाँ फिर एनआरआई के रूप में वो इन्वेस्ट कर सकती है, इंडियन म्यूचुअल फंड में या पीएमएस के अंदर, वो आप इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं।
Yeah, madam, any more
No,
queries from any members?
all the queries are answered.
Yeah, I mean, he has been good enough to covering everything.
Okay.
Friends, if anyone is having, yeah, please continue, Bharatji. Please raise your.
You're not audible. Hello.
Real estate is covered today's session.
पीयूष संगोई जी ने पूछा कि आई डोंट थिंक आई एम नॉट श्योर रियल एस्टेट इज कवर्ड इन टुडे।
It is covered, already covered, yeah.
तो मैं पीयूष जी आपको वापस बोलता हूँ कि मुझे लगता है कि रियल एस्टेट मार्केट इंडिया में बॉटम आउट होने वाला है, हो रहा है। रिकवरी मुझे लगता है रियल एस्टेट में अच्छी आने वाली है, कमर्शियल और दोनों रेसिडेंशियल के अंदर, मेरा ओपिनियन है। इट मे टेक फ्रॉम 1 year to 3 years, so this is where I am and I give the reason because 2004 से रियल एस्टेट 1992 से ये 2014 तक 12 साल के पीरियड में रियल एस्टेट एकदम ठप रहा। 2004 से 2012 के पीरियड में रियल एस्टेट हैज सिग्निफिकेंट इंप्रूवमेंट ओवर अ 12 year पीरियड। और अभी 8 साल का दौर निकल चुका जहाँ रियल एस्टेट में रिटर्न नेगेटिव है, एक्चुअली कोई भी रिटर्न नहीं है। और मुझे लगता है कि अभी इकोनॉमिक एक्सपांशन जबरदस्त तरीके से हो रहा है इंडिया के अंदर। इकोनॉमी इज रीबूटिंग एंड crazy numbers you will see on various part of the corporate sector. अच्छे नंबर आने वाले हैं। तो पहली बार कॉर्पोरेट के पास एक पावर आया। कॉर्पोरेट प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी परसेंट ऑफ जीडीपी is 20-year low. It is below 3%. It was corporate profit as a percent of GDP was 8% in year 2000. Now it is below 3%. Capacity utilization is actually historical low. So we have seen last 10 years where the Nifty profit has just grown by 6% per annum, which is lesser than the bank FD rate. So now the corporate is the India's economy is rebooting, and you will see much cleaner and better growth going forward. और उसका repercussion क्या होगा कि whenever GDP expand, उसका definite benefit real estate sector के अंदर मिलेगा। लेकिन उतना बड़ा पैसा रियल एस्टेट में नहीं बनेगा क्योंकि अभी काफी अनअकाउंटेड मनी पे काफी कंट्रोल है और अनअकाउंटेड मनी काफी इनवेरिएबली ट्रेडिशनली प्रॉपर्टी में जाता था। अभी इस पे काफी चैलेंजेस है। उसकी वजह से जितना बड़ा पहले होता था वो नहीं होगा।
Sir, do you recommend real estate REITs or real estate companies?
मैं भूल गया बताना। रियल एस्टेट REITs एंड इनविट्स को आप लोगों को एग्जामिन करना चाहिए। अगर फिक्स इनकम में आपके पास एफडी में जैसे रिटर्न बहुत कम आ रहे हैं तो मेरे हिसाब से REITs एंड इनविट्स को आप जरूर एग्जामिन करो। और मैं तो माहेश्वरी जी आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ,
प्लीज
आप एक सेपरेट सेशन रखो जेबी नगर स्टडी सर्कल का। आई कैन मेक अ वेरी गुड पीपीटी एक्सप्लेन टू देम कि REITs एंड इनविट्स के अंदर क्यों पैसा डालना चाहिए।
इंटरेस्टिंग।
आप उसके अंदर बढ़ाइए। ट्रेडिशनल क्यों अभी अक्रॉस द ग्लोब लॉन्ग टर्म फिक्स इनकम इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए REITs एंड इनमें लोग बहुत पैसा डालते हैं। इंडिया में नहीं डालते थे क्योंकि आपको एफडी पे 7-8% मिल जाता, तो आप फिर 6-7% में क्यों दिमाग लगाओगे। लेकिन सपोज इस इंटरेस्ट रेट सिनेरियो के अंदर आपको एग्जामिन करना चाहिए। मेरे हिसाब से मच क्लीनर स्ट्रक्चर है, रेगुलेटरी अप्रूव्ड क्लीनर स्ट्रक्चर है और आपको एक पूरा बुके ऑफ पोर्टफोलियो मिलता है, तो उसको आपको मेरे हिसाब से एग्जामिन करना चाहिए।
थैंक यू।
I think we can conclude.
Yeah, you please.
एक जयेश ढाबेरे जी का सवाल है माहेश्वरी जी लास्ट की।
प्लीज
should ideally be advised to invest in MF or directly in shares of a listed company. Please advise of you. देखिए मेरा स्वार्थ तो कि आप म्यूचुअल फंड में डालो बिकॉज वो मेरा काम है। लेकिन अभी क्या आ रहा है, पिछले 6-7 महीनों में इन्वेस्टर ने डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में बहुत बड़ा ऐसा बनाया है, तो उनको लग रहा है कि भाई ये कंटिन्यू रहना चाहिए, लेकिन ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है। आप अपना पोर्टफोलियो डाइवर्सिफाइड रखिए, कुछ आपको डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में करना वो काम करिए। बड़ा पैसा मेरे हिसाब से नॉट ओनली इन म्यूचुअल फंड बट इवन इन म्यूचुअल फंड जो मैंने स्ट्रक्चर बताया है, खाली बाय एंड होल्ड मत रखिए, एक स्ट्रक्चर के थ्रू इन्वेस्ट करिए कि जहां प्रॉफिट ज्यादा बन रहा है आप रेगुलर बेसिस पे निकाल सकें प्रॉफिट। वो वाला स्ट्रक्चर आप बना के चलेंगे तो मेरे को लगता है ज्यादा आपके लिए फ्रूटफुल होगा।
Friends, one thing I can request and conclude it is based on my 30 years experience also, that though investing looks very simple to chartered accountants because we feel masters of reading the balance sheet, but I feel that most of us are losing making the wealth or growing the wealth. So we need professionals definitely who are full-time into that, be it Mantri ji or any such professionals to whom you trust, and we should always reach to them. Our focus area have been into our professional practices, and we should focus into that only, and investing and wealth creation should be left to the professional investors guidance.
True. Thank you, Vijay ji, for the interactive section. You answered all the questions raised by the participants, and participants are really benefited a lot. I now request immediate past convener CA Chintan Shah to present a vote of thanks to today's speaker.
Hello.
Hello, Chintan.
Yeah, it's not Chintan. This is Narendra Mehta Sima. Can I share my thoughts on chartered accountants on financial literacy?
Okay.
Yeah, I work as a arbitrator in all the stock exchanges of the country, and I have seen the cases which was represented by the chartered accountant who lost heavily. We always consider ourselves to be master of accounts, but truly speaking, unless and until we have the financial literacy with reference to investment, as BL Maheshwari correctly stated, you need to have the knowledge about it, and you must listen to or go through all the documents which are presented, which is very important. So chartered accountants, especially, I'm requesting them that please try to understand and have your portfolio properly managed. Probably you will be in a position to make good money from the capital market, as Mr. Mantri have said. So this is what I just wanted to share. Thank you, Sima.
Thank you.
Okay, Chintan.
Chintan is not available.
No, Chintan is there. Chintan, you can.
Please carry the water of things.
Where is? Hello, Chintan.
Madam, you can propose it. There is no point. Yeah.
Actually, Chintan is
Hello.
there. Huh, Chintan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Sima Madam, for giving this opportunity for proposing a formal vote of thanks to the learned speaker. Sir, it was a really wonderful session, Mantri ji, who have enlightened us in the nuances of protecting our wealth and also our clients' wealth. So, and everybody has learned definitely new things, and everybody, when implements it, will create lots of wealth for themselves as well as their clients. And so, on behalf of JB Nagar Study Circle, I propose a hearty vote of thanks to the speaker, CA Vijai Mantri ji, and also the moderator, CA BL Maheshwari ji, for taking this session to the great heights. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you for the wonderful session.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.